Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Arhat here with my very first English video. It's been a while since my last update, but I'm excited to finally bring you something new. I hope this video will be helpful to my English-speaking viewers. As a tech enthusiast, filmmaker, and gamer, most of my recent work has been focused on filmmaking and video production. But photography has always been a passion of mine, and it remains one of my favorite creative pursuits. If you are interested in video production, you are probably familiar with LUTs, or lookup tables. These are essential tools for transforming log footage into specific looks quickly. Camera manufacturers often provide LUTs tailored to their product, and some YouTubers even sell custom LUTs. But here is an interesting question. Have you ever thought about how to apply LUTs to photographs? This is a question I've been pondering for some time. Out of curiosity, I did some research, but there wasn't much information available. Based on my understanding of the principles behind LUTs, I tested with different workflows and discovered some viable methods. In this video, I will share how you can apply your favorite LUTs to your photos. Before we jump into the tutorial, let's take a quick look at the side-by-side comparison between the Sony ST Profile and the Phantom LUT, especially the neutral version. I won't say too much about the differences. I'll let you judge it for yourself from the visuals. To apply a LUT to a photo, specifically a RAW photo, you first need to convert the RAW file into a compatible log curve. This is a basic requirement for using LUTs, as log formats are designed to compress dynamic range efficiently while preserving information for further grading. RAW files contain all the data captured by the camera sensor and often have far more information than the typical 10-bit log files. The logical workflow I follow is to map the RAW photo to a log curve compatible with the LUT, and then apply your favorite LUT. However, most photo editing software does not support a log curve because this is not a standard practice in photo editing workflow. So, I wondered, could we use video editing software for this task? The simple answer is yes. Since the Cinema DNG is essentially a sequence of RAW frames, a single-frame DNG photo can be imported into DaVinci Resolve. By first converting your RAW photo into DNG format, you can bring it into Resolve. If you are unfamiliar with this step, you can use Adobe Camera Raw to convert any RAW format into DNG. Let me know in the comments if you would like a detailed guide on this step. Alright, let me walk you through the step-by-step process. Don't worry, it's actually simpler than it sounds. Just follow along and you will get it. First, we need to set up a timeline in Resolve. Go to the Edit page and create a new timeline. Make sure the timeline resolution matches your RAW photo's original size. For example, if you are working with a RAW file from a Sony's Alpha 7C II like me, the resolution would be 7008 by 4672. Frame rate, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter because we are only using a single frame. Next, we will import our DNG file. Drag the DNG file directly into the timeline. By default, the clip will be 5 seconds long, but since we only need one frame, you can trim it down to a single frame. And here is a quick tip. If you are working with multiple photos, go to Preferences, User, Editing, and set the default still image duration to 1 frame. This will save you time for the future work. Now we move to the color page. This is where the magic happens. Click the DNG file we're working on. In the bottom left of the screen, look for Camera Raw section. Change Decode Using from Project to Clip. Change color space to Blackmagic Design and Gamma to Blackmagic Design Film. Here, You can also adjust the exposure and other raw settings if needed. For most cases, you can just tweak the exposure and leave the rest alone. Now, it's time to use nodes. Don't worry if you are not familiar with nodes. I will keep it simple. Press Option S or Alt S for Windows users to create 3 nodes. Click on the first node, go to the Effects library, and search for Color Space Transform. Drag and drop it onto the first node. In the Color Space Transform setting, set Input Color Space to Blackmagic Design Wide Gamut Gen 4/5, Input Gamut to Blackmagic Design Film. Output color space to match the LUTs you are using. For example, if you are using a LUT designed for Sony S-Log3, set output color space to Sony S-3.Cine and Gamma to S-Log3. About the second node, we will leave it blank for now. We will come back to it later if we need any micro adjustment. And click on the third node. Right-click on the node and select Apply LUT from the menu. You can also access the LUTs panel on the left-hand side and double-click the LUT you want from the list. If you are recently downloaded the new LUTs, you will need to import all of them. Go to the LUTs panel, right-click on the folder, and select Review in Finder or Review in Explorer for Windows user. Drop your new LUTs into the folder. Then, click the gear icon at the bottom right, go to Color Management, Lookup Tables, and click Update List. Your LUTs will now show up in the list. Finally, it's time to export the photo. Click on Deliver page. Name your file and set the export location. Choose the format, TIFF, and the codec RGB 16-bit. Check Export Video, and check Individual Clips. Click Add to Render Queue, then press Render All. And that's it. You will end up with a 16-bit TIFF image that has your LUT applied. This workflow works pretty well, but there are still a few things you need to watch out for. Limitation number 1, color space restrictions. Here's the deal. This workflow uses video standards like Rec. 709, not the color space typically used in photography like Adobe RGB or ProPhoto RGB. So, if you are working on a highly color-sensitive project, you might need an extra step to convert your final image to one of the wider color spaces. The easiest but narrower option is export in sRGB, since that's more common for internet content. Limitation number 2, no lens corrections or chromatic aberration fixes. If you are used to photo editors like Adobe Camera Raw or Lightroom, you'll probably rely on automatic corrections for lens distortion and chromatic aberration. But in Resolve, this is not an option, at least not in this workflow. So, if you are using a wide-angle lens that needs corrections, you might notice some issues. Limitation number 3, the process still follows video workflow. Even though we are working with a single photo or single frame, everything about this process follows the logic of video editing. From timeline setup to color space choices, it's all based on the video standards. If you are looking for something that fits perfectly into a traditional photo workflow, this might feel a little unconventional. So, those are the key steps and the limitations of this method. I hope you found this breakdown useful. If you are someone who works with both photo and video editing, this method might open up new creative possibilities for you. It's not a perfect solution, but it works at least. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps me create more videos like this. I'm planning to release more tutorials like this in the future, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.